For the finale of the season, the first surprise to round out this incredible year was a complete difference in qualifying results. The Red Bulls' incredible recent run of 5 poles in a row was ended with a sight of rain, forcing the drivers to use intermediate tyres to set their fastest lap times. Unlike the rest of the field, the top 4 played their cards correctly, going out early in the session and finding the best track conditions of the session overall. Stoffel Vandoorne was the driver who capitalised most, taking pole position around the Suzuka circuit by 2/10 to his teammate Lewis Hamilton. This gives the Belgian a perfect opportunity to take the lead earlier on in the Grand Prix tomorrow to keep his championship challenge alive. The other 2 drivers who enjoyed the circuit conditions were Bottas and Giovinazzi, both setting their laps early to line up on the second row. Red Bull driver Pierre Gasly had to make do with 5th position, whilst Aarava, a driver who recently revealed he will not be driving for Mercedes next season, sailed his boat to 6th. The Ferrari pairing of Ricciardo and Vettel took the entire 4th row, with Alex Lynn and Carlos Sainz round out the top 10. Verstappen, another championship challenger, would be disappointed not to be starting in the top 10, finding Renault driver Kevin Magnussen alongside in 12th. 5 championship challenges await the starting grid tomorrow, but the question is, who will be the Drivers' World Champion? Next up, it's the Japanese Grand Prix.
What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to my F1 MyDriver career mode, episode number 13 of Season 3 today, the finale of Season 3 at the Japanese Grand Prix. I can't quite believe we're at another finale, a third finale for this series, because when I started it all the way back in, I think it was January or around February, I really didn't think this was going to be a 3-season kind of series, at least on F1 2015. You know, when I started it, if you remember, if you were around back then in January, I started off and, you know, I pre-recorded the first 10 episodes of the races, and it was basically a series that would allow me to keep on doing that series and play F1 2015 while at university to try and help me juggle things. And then from then to Season 2, it sprouted into probably one of my favourite series to do, and the support was amazing in Season 2, and then Season 3, somehow the support got even better off Season 2, which is mad, and it's now definitely probably going to be my absolute all-time favourite series I've ever done, and probably might do ever on the channel. I mean, you never know in the future, but for now it definitely is, because it's just been an absolute pleasure to record. The races are always really fun for me to do, and then obviously the editing that goes into it that I really enjoy doing, because I get great satisfaction from you guys enjoying it and getting immersed, you know, people, you know, tweeting and stuff like that, you know, getting really into it and really kind of rooting for their favourite driver and just getting properly immersed in the career mode, which is what this career mode's all about and what I think career mode should be all about, getting really into it, getting in depth, and I just can't thank you guys enough for the support. But we're here for the finale, Season 3. It's a good one because there's 5 potential winners of this title by the end of this race, and you can see by these tables and the graphs on screen now that it's been a very, very close season. The 2017 winners there, you can see Verstappen, Gasly, Ricciardo, Hamilton, Vandoorne surprisingly in the last round. Obviously we won 2 races early on. You can see on the graph there, it's been a season of consistency for us, and Ricciardo, Verstappen and Gasly all swapping positions left, right and centre as they had their kind of pits and falls and their kind of ups and downs, and Vandoorne still there, still mathematically within the championship hunt. You can see clearly he's never really been in it fully, you know, from pretty much the 4th round of the season, so it's all up in the air really. Anyone can win it from these 5 people, and it is possible. You just never know what's going to happen here in Japan, especially after how qualifying went. A very, very amazing qualifying in terms of just everyone being caught out apart from the top 4, so it's going to be quite an awesome Grand Prix ahead of us. I feel the Japanese Grand Prix is usually a 2-stop race, but we'll see. We might turn it into a 3 like we did last season, but for now, option prime is the way to go. Probably going to use the prime tyre right at the end because it is quite a disgusting tyre around here in Japan, the hard tyre, but we'll see how we go. But that's enough of an intro and setting the scene for this Grand Prix. Let's get to it. We go to 5 red lights for the final time in 2017. We're off for 27 laps around the Japanese Grand Prix. Gasly gets a good start. Ricciardo does as well. As per usual, we bogged down. Getting off the line, not going to help us. We're in 7th place. Now 8th briefly, going to turn 1. Side by side with Sainz. We now go down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo, our main rival in the championship. 3 points behind us in the championship. We swing round. We're up back into 6th place behind Pierre Gasly in 5th. We've got Stoffel Van Dorn leading the way from Hamilton. Then we've got Giovinazzi surprisingly still in 3rd place, Bottas 4th, then Gasly 5th, and there you can see us in 6th place. As we now move later on into lap 1, down the back straight towards 130R, still in 6th place, Gasly up ahead making a move on Bottas, which is pretty damn crucial for his championship fight here today. Through down towards 130R, down the inside, going side by side, pushes Bottas off a little bit wide there, and that will allow us to get up into 5th place. So Pierre Gasly's actually helped us out quite a lot there. We've both made it past the Williams pretty easily, so he may not like it, but he really did help me out quite a lot in that move, because that was very, very easy, like taking candy from a baby. At the moment, Van Dorn taking the fast lap of the Grand Prix, but we're going well at the moment behind Pierre, getting the slipstream, you can see, so we're closing up into towards turn 1, so this is working quite well for us at the moment. In this position, we'll be pretty good at the moment, but we've got a long way in this Grand Prix to go, 25 laps to go actually, so still a lot to do. So you can see there, Giovinazzi in 3rd place, you've got Hamilton in 2nd, and Van Dorn up here in 1st place. At the moment, it's a 1-2 for Mclaren, doing pretty well after that awesome qualifying for them, where they got it completely spot on. Right, on towards the next lap of the Grand Prix. Ricciardo now makes a move on Bottas, very crucial for him in the championship to get up behind Bottas. Oh my god, he pushed Bottas off the circuit a little bit through turn 1. The Australian being very, very aggressive with his moves today, but he's up into what will be now 6th place, I think that is, and that's very, very crucial for him in the fight here today. So we're coming on later on to lap 5 in the Grand Prix. Gasly now stuck behind Giovinazzi, and you can see getting a bit of oversteer as the rain droplets start to fall. So we had some rain yesterday. It was an intermediate qualifying, and now are we going to get a bit of a rain period here in the Japanese Grand Prix? Just typical Japan finale, isn't it? Just some rain as you do. But here we go, right behind Gasly now on the end of lap 5 towards 130R. Can we slipstream, maybe overtake him before the rain really starts to come down, before we get onto these intermediate tyres? He's going to slipstream Giovinazzi. We're all going to get really close to each other through 130R. We're going to make a move down the inside into the chicane. Perhaps he locks up a little bit. We go down the inside side by side. You can see the rain droplets getting chucked up by Giovinazzi's rear end, but we just make the move on Gasly, and Gasly pits. Gasly pits. He's in early maybe for a set of intermediate tyres. So here he goes. What is he going to do? This surely will be for intermediate tyres. Very bold move here for Gasly to go early. And oh no, no, he's not put intermediates on. He's put on options. He's put on the medium tyre. What on earth have the people on the pit wall of Red Bull done? They've absolutely screwed him over. Meanwhile, this is us coming back live to us right behind Giovinazzi. You can see we've still got pretty good grip, so it's not quite yet time for intermediates. But what on earth has Red Bull done to Pierre Gasly? Effectively, they've sort of ruined his race, surely, because he's going to make an entire extra pit stop here, because the rain's not just going to stop falling right now on lap 6. As we move later on to lap 6, you can see it's still falling. Giovinazzi gets a bit of oversteer off the last corner, but that Toro Rosso is like an absolute rocket ship in a straight line. But we move down. We're up in 4th place at the moment after Gasly made his pit stop. Ricciardo up in 5th place at the moment. It's still Van Dorn and Hamilton, 1-2 for McLaren. The rain's still coming down. And so now through turn 1, the Toro Rosso really struggling for grip here. We get some beautiful traction on the right-hand side. We go right around the outside of the Italian man, but we hit the grass a little bit, bang tyres as he comes back on towards us. The hang of anger goes up there in the cockpit, and we're still going side by side in a very unconventional part of the circuit. The S section, as we climb up the hill now, we'll still stick on the right-hand side. He'll be on the left. He'll actually get the racing line. We go off onto the wet stuff on the wider line. That's going to hinder us in terms of getting some grip, and we actually have to bail out of this move and stay in 4th place. So the Italian and the Toro Rosso doing really well. The final race of the season, trying to prove something to the bosses maybe, if perhaps Gasly or Verstappen leave Red Bull for next season in 2018. So he's doing really well. But on to lap 7 now, right up his gearbox, down 130R, around the outside into the chicane, locking up a little bit. Grip is really at a premium right now at the Japanese Grand Prix. You can see the screen is being filled up more and more by these rain beads. But Giovinazzi comes in. I didn't actually have a clue who was going to come in, when we're going to come in, so I actually just continued on. Didn't know anything about that until I looked behind me and saw I was in 1st place and no one was behind me. They're all in the pit, so we continued on for one more lap. Probably not ideal, but to be honest, the grip was okay around that lap. So we're in for the pits now. We'll go on to the intermediate tyres. Hopefully not lost too much time on Giovinazzi. Obviously Van Dorn will get us because he was in 1st place by a few seconds at the moment. He's doing a fantastic job right now in these last 2 races, you know, trying to prove something. He's had a poor season so far in 2017, so he's trying to finish this off strong. Got to win last race. It looks like he's going to be pretty favoured to get this one as well. But as we come down the pit lane, we're looking on the left-hand side. Is there going to be Toro Rosso coming down the pit lane? I haven't seen Hamilton yet as well. So no Hamilton. There's Giovinazzi, and Giovinazzi's in 2nd place. We're going to get ahead of Hamilton into third place. So we get up into, we've gained one position because Hamilton looks like he's lost a position. He's going side by side with Daniel Ricciardo into the S section. Looks like he got jumped in the pit stop phases by Ricciardo nearly and completely by Giovinazzi. So they go side by side, the McLaren and the Ferrari. Ricciardo fighting for his life here and for the championship. Remember, he's got to overhaul me by 3 points, so he needs to get this move done up the hill section. Looks like Hamilton will get the same situation I did on Giovinazzi previously, and he just can't keep it on the right hand side on the really wet part of this circuit. So he's down into what will be 5th place there. So Hamilton now though is back up into 4th a few laps later on lap 12, and I'm right up Giovinazzi's gearbox through the spoon corner down towards 130R now. Not getting the best run there. You can see Hamilton right up my gearbox. The McLaren's got some great pace now. They've really unlocked a lot of speed from their turbo in the last 2 races, and he's completely got me into 130R. We'll try and hang around the outside. He'll run us wide a little bit. We nearly bang tyres. Can we make a move into the chicane? I wonder. We're going to try it. Little move, lock up on the right tyre, go side by side, just about give him enough room. Ricciardo's also looking behind us, lurking around. We've got a bit of an oversteer moment. We're going side by side still through the last corner, but Hamilton will get us there on the traction, and we'll get in the slipstream. Ricciardo behind us will slipstream. We're going to come back at Hamilton though, so down towards into turn 1. Surely can we get this down the inside? Ricciardo's going to sniff around. Maybe he can make a move on Hamilton, I wonder. But we're back up into 3rd place. Doesn't look like Ricciardo's actually be able to do anything at the moment, but Hamilton looking very, very racy. Obviously, he lost those positions in the pit stop, so he really did have the pace to still be in 2nd, but his team obviously didn't do the best job down the pit lane. But here he comes again at the end of lap 13, down towards 130R, once more down the inside. Can we hang it again round the outside? This time even better. We do have to go completely off the circuit though, as Hamilton doesn't give us much room. I have to give him all the room down the inside, because that's a very dangerous place to go and make an overtake down the inside of 130R. We give him the room around the outside in the second part of the chicane. That probably hinders us because we get bad traction. Hamilton goes cleanly round the outside, so really not doing well here in the intermediate period down on that last corner. And now Ricciardo goes and slipstreams us down the inside. He'll try and make the move. We're going to hang it round the outside. We'll just about do it and just about not hit Hamilton's rear tyre with our front wing, but Ricciardo tries his best to close up on me, but just can't do it on the exit of turn 1. But that was very, very close, and we saw a nice little onboard shot from Ricciardo there, just showing you how close this is between all 3 of us. But onto lap 14, on towards lap 15 actually, we're all kind of coming to the pits now. I actually wasn't going to come in, but I saw Hamilton come in. I just thought, okay, we need to follow and do what he's doing, and obviously we're going to come in for a nice set of intermediate tyres. As you can clearly see, it's still raining. Looks like it's not going to be full wets though, because my engineer's not telling me that it's time for full wets anytime soon. You can see there the Ferrari's double stack, so Ferrari hindering Vettel there to make sure Ricciardo gets ahead. And look at that, me and Ricciardo have jumped Hamilton once again. I tell you what, Hamilton must be so pissed off. 2 pit stops in a row and he's been jumped there. Just not good enough for McLaren there, my former team. You can see there Max Verstappen coming down the pit lane, then Rosberg and Vettel. So Max actually not too far behind our little pack for qualifying down out of the top 10 in qualifying. Very poor showing from him yesterday. And then here's his teammate Pierre Gasly, who you remember earlier on the Grand Prix got shot in the foot. Still struggling. He's still within the points, I think, but he's really far behind now. His team have really not done him any justice there in this final race. Now we move on to lap 16 though. Let's get back to our action. We can see Ricciardo in the mirrors slipstream us. Where is he going to go? He's going to move to the left hand side. We move to the inside to defend from him, but he's going to go cleanly round the outside. We lock up. We get very close to his gearbox. We actually make it work, and we try to go round the outside of Ricciardo, but he actually just completely runs us out, and we just don't get the turn in. A lot of understeer naturally into turn 1 with the intermediate conditions. Very slippery. And now onto lap 16. I follow Ricciardo in, and we're all going to come in for the dry tyres. You can see it's stopped raining, getting a bit of sun there in the last corner. It's time for the dry period now once again. So very enthralling race here today at Japan. We started off in dry, then we got a bit of wet period, and now we're back to dries. We've put on the disgusting tyres that I'd said were disgusting at the end, but we've only got 10 laps left in this Grand Prix. It's flown by these last 17 laps, but only 10 laps left. So my logic is, let's just go to the end on prime tyres, because if I put on options, you can maybe get to the end, but they're going to be very, very worn at the end. So even though these tyres are pretty disgusting, hopefully if the sun comes out, the track properly dries up. At the moment it's quite slippery, but if it starts to dry up, these will come into their own. But at the moment you can see opposite lock there out of turn 1, and then through this next corner you can see in second gear just sliding around, aquaplaning a little bit on these dry tyres, and that allows Ricciardo to get a good run. He's actually going to come down our inside in towards the hairpin, and I've gone far too fast into it. We've locked up. We've just lost all amount of grip going into there. I even went down to second gear at the correct time, but the car just wouldn't wouldn't slow down enough, I was either going to lock up or just continue to slide into that gravel trap. So thankfully we haven't lost too much time, but we have lost the position crucially to Ricciardo. And now look at this. He's going to go and try and overtake Giovinazzi here down the inside into turn 1. There he goes. So we're in 4th at the moment, and Ricciardo looks like he's going to fight to get back up into 2nd place. So if he stays in 2nd, and if he gets up into 2nd, he's in 3rd at the moment. Giovinazzi's done well to defend, but remember, if he gets in 2nd and I stay in 4th, that is enough of a gap for Ricciardo to get this lead of the championship. So we really need the Italian to hold him up, or at least enough so that we can close up and re-overtake him, or perhaps overtake the Italian. We can see in the next lap, Ricciardo goes down the inside of Giovinazzi. The sun is out right now. We've only got a few laps left in this Grand Prix, and he's taken 2nd place. So we have got a fight on our hands now, guys. We have got to overtake Giovinazzi. There's no ifs or buts. We have to do it. If we finish like this, 2nd place for Ricciardo, 4th place for us. That is 18 points for him, 12 points for me. That's not good enough. That will be enough points for him to overhaul. So here we go, down the inside, up the hill, good grip on around the outside of the Italian. He's going to squeeze us into the grass. It's not going to be a play. It's not going to be an overtake. That's a very, very difficult place to overtake there. Very unorthodox place to overtake around the outside of that corner. But as we come through onto lap 23, chasing down Giovinazzi, but look who's in the pits. Ricciardo. He's pit for another set of tyres. So surely that means he was onto option tyres. Very stupidly. So Ferrari, much like they've done previously in the past, in 2010 I remember, with Alonso hitting very early, Ricciardo, Ferrari have shot him in the foot. What is with these teams? It's like the pressure is getting to them, and they're just shooting each other in the feet. So at the moment, we're up in 3rd place, we're chasing Giovinazzi, we're going round the outside on the right hand side through 130R. He'll hold it through as far as he can, but we get it into 2nd place. Van Dorn at the moment right out in the lead. He's going to definitely win this Grand Prix, but we've got 3 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. We've just got ahead of Giovinazzi, but through the final corner, poor traction, he'll come back at us really quite a lot. He'll swoop to the right hand side of the circuit, and here comes Hamilton out of nowhere, shooting through with DRS like an absolute bullet, and comes through round the outside of Giovinazzi, but he fends him off, and we go round the outside of our fellow countryman, and we're up into 3rd place once more. But you can see behind us, Daniel Ricciardo set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so could he come back at us on those fresh option tyres like I did in Season 2 on Van Dorn and Verstappen, if you remember last season? But at the moment, we're chasing Giovinazzi, trying to make a move in this X section, and we might actually make it. Round the outside, beautiful traction, but we've gone a little bit wide. We've got a bit too much momentum there on the left-hand, and we'll just about keep it in 2nd place. But as we go on towards 130R, lap 25, here he comes, slipstream in that turquoise Toro Rosso on the left-hand side. Hamilton in the mirrors as well. Could he make a move? Possibly. No, looks like it's not going to be enough. But through 130R, we close up on him once more. Slipstream, I want to make a move down the inside. Here we go. We've gone deep, though, locked up a little bit. Giovinazzi will do a beautiful switchback. This is wonderful racing to witness through the final corner. Giovinazzi will just hold it through in the final corner, and Hamilton now will come out of nowhere, swoop the right-hand side. So now Hamilton's up in 2nd, Giovinazzi in 3rd, we're in 4th. Can we try and make a move on Giovinazzi into turn 1? Looks like it's going to be a bit too tight. We're going to try our best to go round the outside. We'll try. He'll just give us the room, but we'll go wide naturally into turn 1. Not done the best turn there into turn 1, to be honest, and so we're going to have to settle down for 4th at the moment. But I wonder, can we make another move through the S section? Looks like he's really struggling, the Toro Rosso man, in this section. The Toro Rosso with inferior downforce through here, and once again on the left-hander, just down the inside, up the run, up the hill once more. This is going to be a very tricky place to overtake, and I think the Italian will just about get it. Yes, he does on lap 26 here. It beautifully blocks me there for 3rd place. He's really fighting hard for this podium. But we come back, the final lap of the Grand Prix, lap 27. Max Verstappen is now in 5th place, so he's fought back. Ricciardo's behind him at the moment, trying to overtake him. But through turn 1, we get very close to Giovinazzi, locked up. Ricciardo, meanwhile, is overtaking Verstappen, and Vettel set the fast lap of the Grand Prix. So all the people behind us who set extra pit stops are going about 2 seconds faster than us at the moment, as the Italian is really holding us up. So could this be a last-minute drama here as we move later on down towards 130R? Van Dorn has won the Grand Prix. It'll be a 1-2 for Mclaren. We're going to chase down Giovinazzi, and you can see on the mini-app behind us, Ricciardo's not too far behind us, only about 1 second. We're going to slipstream Giovinazzi here round the outside into the last chicane. We're going to try around the outside, squeeze it through, but no, the Italian gets it round. We got on the curb, we've lost the back end a little bit. Ricciardo's right in the mirrors, right behind us, but this will be very close, but we'll just get it through the final corner, and we're going to come through for the World Championship.
double world champion. That must sound pretty cool to you. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, it does sound pretty damn nice, and I don't even know, can't really sum it up, to be honest. Just absolutely elated, relief, if anything. You know, it was a very tricky Grand Prix throughout. You know, change of conditions. I really thought we would have struggled a little bit more when it started to rain, and I was sort of half and half, you know, thinking if it was a good thing for me if it started to rain, but you know, it did, so we had to deal with it, and you know, thankfully worked out for us. Ricciardo had some good pace early on, but he got stuck behind Giovinazzi, and then we were able to kind of use that and get ahead of him in the pit stops. The guys at the pit stops were amazing. I think we jumped Ricciardo twice in 2 different pit stops, and even Hamilton at one point. So the lads in the pit stop were absolutely brilliant today and did a perfect job for us. And yeah, apart from that, the rest of the race was just a roller coaster of emotions, really. You know, very desperate to get past Antonio. Eventually, you know, the very last lap I just gave up. You know, we had the position. I think, you know, my team told me it's good enough. It's good enough. So it's all good, and I'm a bit speechless as well that the fact that we've not had the best car the entire season, and we've just managed to actually do that. It's just. It's going to take some time to sink in, but I'm so relieved.
It was an absolute roller coaster of a season with multiple winners, some extraordinary races, and with the car you had this year, can you even start to really process what you've achieved?
Yeah, as I said, it's going to take time to really actually fully, you know, settle down. But yeah, looking at where we were in pre-season, the car was absolutely nowhere in pre-season. We had to really work hard to even get it, you know, up to some sort of competitive spec for the first race in USA, and then, you know, to win the first, you know, to win the 2 out of 3 races in the first 3 rounds. Just crazy to, you know, get the home Grand Prix win. I think that helped a lot to spur me on. You know, we carried the momentum forward from those 2 wins and just tried our best. In races like Belgium, I'll always remember, you know, fighting back on the last lap, and I think races like that are the reason why we're in this position right now. And then obviously, yeah, as you said, roller coaster, you know, different winners, you know, and you got the youngsters who've come through onto the new teams, you know, Gasly getting a few wins there, Verstappen, you know, Max gave me a really hard fight a lot of races, and you know, obviously he had the unfortunate engine failure. You know, I could have been me as well last race, and you know, these things happen sometimes. We had the, you know, spin at Spa and then the crash at, you know, Canada, so I think everyone had their fair share of bad luck, even Ricciardo, you know, a few unlucky races. So I think whoever really actually won this title deserved the title, because it was so crazy to have 5 different potential winners, and for Stoffel, my last year's rival, to come through to second. He was 5th going into this race, and he comes through into 2nd place and finishes behind me by about 5 points, I think it was. He's actually pretty crazy to think about, and so it kind of weirdly works out as we're 1-2 like last year. Obviously, though, we're swapped around, which is really good for me. But yeah, it's going to take some time, but for sure it's a very proud moment to be able to drag this car up and do something like this. And I think, as I said last year, it shows that, you know, who knows if we're ever in a good competitive car, what's going to happen. We would surely win this season by a few races. So yeah, well, it's going to take some time, but just celebrate right now with friends and family, and yeah, try to soak it in.
So Thursday you confirmed to the paddock that you'll be leaving Mercedes. Can we have any sort of hints of who you'll be signing with next season?
There's no real hints about who I'm joining. We're talking to a potential few teams, but obviously now I just want to concentrate on the winter, just take a good break before I get into any proper contract negotiations. But I think it's going to be very much like last time when I was in this situation when I left McLaren looking for a new challenge. I think we're going to just have to wait and see what team wants to potentially sign us, and then look at our options as well. I think that I can at least tell you there are a few teams that are up there for sure that we might sign with. Just gonna have to see how it goes, really see which one you know, fancies, which one looks the best offer for me, and also for them as well. But yeah, no real hint about what team that's going to be. I guess we'll find out earlier on towards the next season.
Alright, well, thanks for your time, and a huge congratulations for the title, and we'll see you next year.
Alright, cheers, thanks a lot. What a final race that was at the Japanese Grand Prix. That was such a fun race to finish off this series. MyDriver Season 3 is over, guys. These are your results. Stoffel Vandoorne in first place, Hamilton second, Giovinazzi, a brilliant podium for the youngster in the Toro Rosso. We come home in fourth with 12 points, 2 points more than Ricciardo, so we extend the lead to him. We lose some ground to Vandoorne, but he was too far behind to get it this weekend. I think he had to hope that we were down in something like 6th or 7th to get the championship, but surprisingly and funnily enough, Vandoorne will come back to be second in the championship, which is quite hilarious actually to me, because that just shows how much Red Bull really messed it up. I bet a lot of strategy people are going to get fired after this season, but guys, I enjoyed that race so much. It was so fun. The changeable conditions, I was so happy when we locked in with the dynamic weather and got intermediates in the middle of the race. I was just like fist pumping because it meant it was going to be such a fun race. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Smash that like button if you did enjoy this, not only this race but this entire series, season 3, season 2, season 1. Smash that like button, guys. I know you absolutely went ham on season 2's finale. It'd be absolutely awesome if we can try and beat that. I think season 2's finale is just about at 3,000 likes, so if we could try and beat that for season 3, that'd be absolutely epic, guys. But nonetheless, let me know what you thought about that in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I need to say a huge shout out to Justin, Fake Ghost Pirate, for doing most of the commentaries this series for qualifying and the questions, and then Callum, who came in with a clutch commentary for this episode because I couldn't get hold of Justin for this episode today, so I was actually screwed without him. So Callum came in clutch. He just came back from holiday and did the commentary for me, so I need to say a huge thank you to him, and also he's done some commentaries in the past for me on MyDriver. Both of them absolute pleasures to work with, very easy to work with. Tom97HD for again doing the graphic at the beginning for the calendar as well, and just generally helping me out a little bit here and there with some ideas. But just, it's been a great season, guys, and I just need to say a huge final thank you to all of you who've literally made this best series, because it wouldn't be anything without you guys watching it and enjoying it, because that at the end of the day is my favorite part of everything, of the entire process, is clicking upload and checking through the comments and everything for the first hour of the videos live. I know this is a bit kind of blabbery and kind of, you know, very soft, but it's so true. It's just so true. It really is such a pleasure to make these videos. So guys, until next time, there is going to be season 4. It will be on F1 2016 though, and that will be in a couple of, well, probably months, I'm guessing, because obviously we're doing the vanilla career mode first, F1 2016 with the McLaren on the actual normal game without any mods first, and we'll see how long the hype for that series is, and then you just know, once the hype dies down, we'll be back in this with MyDriver to bring the hype right back up with the driver transfers for 2018 and all that good stuff. I'll leave you hanging to let you know what team I'm driving as in Season 4 all the way till Season 4 starts, so I'll leave you with that. But guys, it's been a fantastic season. And if you've watched till the end of me rambling on, then let me know in the comments below. I know not many people watch all the way till the end of these videos. They probably click off straight after the race is over. But if you do watch to the end of these videos, I really do appreciate it. It really does make my day. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. That was MyDriver Season 3. 3 seasons on MyDriver. What a season it's been. What a season it's been. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
They say you're only young once, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. They say you're only young once, but we live for it, we live for it, we live for forever. You at the hideout, where we can dream again. I'll tell you all my secrets, wearing courage like a second skin. The kids are all dying, we're dying to